How's it going, everybody? Hope you're all having an amazing day. In this video, we are going to be breaking down every single region that you can unlock in the upcoming Trailblazer Reloaded League. This is going to be quite a long video. There's really no way around me making this video any shorter. There are going to be timestamps in the description as well as in the pinned comments, so feel free to jump around to whatever regions you want to learn about. Be sure to stop by kick.com/Fringe-Patriot-Gaming because we're going to be streaming the entirety of this league over there. I am incredibly hyped up for this league. If this video helps you out at all, then help me out by hitting that like button. But let's go ahead and cut this plug and get right into it. There still is a lot to go over in the desert region when it comes to the unlocks. So let's go ahead and start off by talking about all of the items that can come from the desert region. You've got the Tombs of Amasket and all of its rewards, including the Osmatin Fang, Lightbearer, the Elidinus Ward, Masori's Armor, and the Tumikin's Shadow. You unlock the ability to get Virtus Robes depending on what other regions that you unlock and what bosses you decide to do to try and get those. Infinity Robes, you got yourself the ability to make darts as well as access to ancient magics. A couple of ways to train thieving like blackjacking or pyramid plunder, so you got the Pharaoh Scepter as well. You have the Master Wand and the Master Book that you could unlock, as well as Bone to Peaches. You can get the Dragon Pickaxe, I believe the Dragon Harpoon from Temporos, and Temporos is a huge unlock from the desert as well, but you also get access to mining granite. So basically you got yourself an easy level 99 thieving, fishing, and mining coming out of this region, as well as some huge buffs to the mage side of things when even like the range side of things with the Masori armor and the Osmatin's Fang. I mean, Osmumtin, I don't know. A lot of this is actually really good. The desert is a region that I'm gonna be picking solely based on the fact that you get to unlock Temporos as well as, you know, some thieving and mining methods. Those is really what I'm looking forward to, as well as jumping into some Tombs of Amasket. I don't play the main game very often. I usually just PK, so I don't do the PVM side of things very often. So I'm excited to give Tombs of Amasket a shot. There's a decent amount to go over here in MORYTANIA, and I'm gonna start off by talking about the quests that are automatically unlocked if you pick this region. I'm just going to breeze through these and talk about the main ones that are unlocked, but also understand that there are sub-quests that are unlocked as well. But let's start off with Darkness of Hollowvale. This is basically going to unlock temple trekking for you. Then you have the Great Brain Robbery. This is going to give you access to the Barrel Chest Anchor as well as the Harmony Island teleport with 60% Arceus favor. So kind of has like a Zaya tie to it there. But more importantly, actually, the subquest here, which I said I wasn't going to talk about, but I'm going to. Cabin Fever is unlocked, which gives you access to the Cave Horrors, which gives you access to the Black Masks and the Slayer Helmet, which is a pretty dang big upgrade for Iron Man. But let's just go ahead and quickly move on to the items that you unlock if you choose MORYTANIA. Starting off with the obvious ones being access to Barrows and all of the Barrows equipment. So that's not only going to be some good training, but also some good equipment, RNG kind of based, but still really good upgrades for Iron Man. Then you have the obvious, like I said, the Black Mask, which leads into the Slayer Helmet, the Abyssal Whip from the Abyssal Demons in the tower. You got Rune Boots. You can craft yourself a Salve Amulet. You have access to Theater of Blood and all of those rewards. You can pick yourself up some Inquisitor from the Nightmare. You can gain access to the Hollowed Sepulchre, which can get you the Ring of Endurance. I mean, the Blood Fury from the Firewatches and that training method in and of itself, there's a lot that actually gets unlocked with MORYTANIA. You could do the Ectofunctus for the prayer training. Honestly, this is a solid choice. Let's start off by the quests that we know are going to be automatically completed if you unlock ASGARNIA. Those being Merlin's Crystal and My Arm's Big Adventure. My Arm's Big Adventure is going to unlock the disease-free herb patch at the top of the stronghold, and Merlin's Crystal is going to give you Excalibur. I'm not entirely sure why they unlock Merlin's Crystal here, but I'm sure there is some sort of nuanced reason to it. Let me know down in the comments if you happen to know. Some of the combat related activities you're going to be able to do are things like Cerberus, Giant Mole, you have God Wars Dungeon, the Cavalry Dungeon, and the Warriors Guild. Some of the most notable being the Giant Mole, Cerberus, and God Wars dungeon, obviously. The Giant Mole is going to be killer for farming experience, and then Cerberus in the God Wars dungeon are, you know, self-explanatory. You're also going to get access to some other things non-combat related, such as like the Crafting Guild, Falador Rooftop Agility Course, the Heroes Guild. You'll get access to the Motherlode Mine, the Rogues Den. You'll have access to the multi-cannon parts for sale, so if you happen to unlock KANDARIN as well, you'll be able to get yourself the multi-cannon. When it comes to Slayer tasks, you're looking at the Black Dragons, Blue Dragons, Hellhounds, Skeletal Wyverns, Trolls, and Spiritual Creatures being added to the list. And finally, just an overarching look at all of the items that you can unlock through the Asgarnian region. It's a decent list here. Starting off, you have the Ceredoman Sword, Steam Battle Staff, Zamorakian Spear, Dragon Boots, Ceredoman's Light, all of the God Swords, Armadillo Armor, Bandos Armor, the Armadillo Crossbow, Staff of the Dead, the Primordial Pegasian and Eternal Crystals, as well as the Draconic Visage. Not even mentioning Nex and access to Torva, as well as the Zarite Crossbow and every upgrade that can come out of there. That in itself will probably be a fun encounter to try and solo with some of the League relics that you have. And let's go ahead and start off with probably one of the biggest things coming out of KOUREND, and that is Chambers of Xeric. Here you can unlock a ton of stuff: the Dexterous Prayer Scroll, Arcane Prayer Scroll, Twisted Buckler, Dragon Hunter Crossbow, Din's Bulwark, Full Ancestral, Dragon Claws, Elder Maul, Kodai Insignia, Twisted Bow. There are a lot of major unlocks that come out of Chambers of Xeric, and it's actually easier to list the ones that aren't very useful, being the Din's Bulwark, Dragon Claws, and Elder Maul. But everything else that comes out of Chambers of Xeric is a huge unlock. Moving on into Wintertot, though, which is actually huge for farming, fire making, and herb lore experience, but there you can actually unlock the Dragon Axe and Tome of Fire, with obviously the Dragon Axe being the winner coming out of Wintertot. Next up, though, we have the Dragon Warhammer that you can unlock in KOUREND. This, paired with Last Recall and a pool in your house to recharge your spec, is going to make bossing insanely easy. It's going to be next level easy when it comes to bossing if you can get all of that rolling. On top of that, you have the Brimstone Ring, which comes from the Hydras. You can also kill some Sarachnis for the Sarachnis Cudgel. That's more of a points unlock than anything, but there is some decent stuff that comes out of Sarachnis as an Iron Man. Definitely worth doing. And those are about actually all of the unlocks that I can think of that can come out of KOUREND. Let me know down in the comments if I ended up missing anything. But we also have some things that can come from KOUREND if you pair KOUREND with another region. For example, you can unlock the Kodai Wand and the Arclight if you unlock KOUREND and the Desert. And you can also unlock the Dragon Hunter Lance if you choose KOUREND and ASGARNIA. I personally feel like KOUREND is a must-choose area this leagues. There's no not choosing KOUREND. There's just so much that can be unlocked here. We didn't even talk about crafting blood runes. We didn't even talk about none of that. There's a ton that comes out of the KOUREND and Kabos area. It is a must unlock this season. Twisted Bow, Full Ancestrals, Chambers of Xeric in itself is just going to be a ton of fun once you get relics rolling. Let me know down in the comments if you plan on choosing KOUREND, or more likely, let me know down in the comments if you don't plan on choosing KOUREND. But keep an eye out. Actually, I'll get more comments if you let me know down in the comments if you plan on choosing KOUREND. So let's go ahead and go with that. But I also wanted to cover KANDARIN because I think it's the most boring region, really. It's the one I played last season, and it's the one I'm the least interested in. And I want to see if what is unlocked in the season, or what is unlocked in the region, tracks with how I feel about KANDARIN, right? Because I'm not excited about it at all. Let's go ahead and start off by naming the big quest unlocks, with those being Monkey Madness 2 and Swan Song. These unlock a few cool things, such as access to the fishing monkfish from Swan Song, as well as the heavy ballista and maniacal monkeys and demonic gorillas for the Zenyte shards when you unlock Monkey Madness 2. All things considered, though, these are some pretty decent unlocks here, and they aren't even including everything unlocked from the quests required to complete Swan Song and the ones required to complete Monkey Madness 2, because those get auto-completed as well. Again, let me know down in the comments if you want me to make a video covering all of the quest unlocks and rewards from each region. But let's go ahead and move on into the items that you will have the ability to unlock, some of the most notable being ballistas in the Zenyte shards. But you also have some good unlocks coming in here with the trident, as well as the occult necklace in the abyssal tentacle, as well as some underrated unlocks, but in my opinion probably some of the best unlocks coming out of this region are the dragon scimitar and the Iban staff. Both of these weapons can easily carry you through mid-game, and that's huge, especially because we're all going to be playing Iron Man, so having a nice, solid, easy-to-get weapon that can carry you through mid-game on top of having, like, relics and stuff that's probably the best unlock coming out of this region, in my opinion. Some of the other things that you could unlock here are a mist battle staff, a smoke battle staff, as well as the fighter torso and the draconic visage. You might be able to unlock Piety with KANDARIN, but I don't think King's Ransom is on the auto-complete list. And I think that you do need to go through ASGARNIA for parts of that quest line. I'm not 100% sure though, you know what I mean? I played a PK and most of my accounts are not melee based. I haven't, or main based even. I haven't had to bother with getting Piety. I know I did it in the last league, but I think I remember doing the quest. So you might need to unlock ASGARNIA and KANDARIN to unlock Piety, and that's definitely something to keep in mind if you were going to unlock KANDARIN just for the sole purpose of unlocking Piety. But that's it coming out of KANDARIN. Again, to list them all off being the ballistas, abyssal tentacle, occult necklace, Zenyte shard, Iban staff, dragon scimitar, fighter torso, draconic visage, smoke staff, mist staff, and the trident. And even with all of that, I am still really not sold on KANDARIN. As far as quests go with the wilderness, unless these guys end up changing something, you really do not unlock much here. Just enter the abyss and Eagle's Peak. This is going to allow you to, of course, use the abyss, but I had to look up what Eagle's Peak was for, and Eagle's Peak gives you access to box traps, which if you were in the wilderness and you trained your hunter enough, you might be able to catch the black chinchompas, so that makes a little bit of sense. But that's it for quests. So moving on into the items that you have the ability to unlock out here in the wilderness, it's actually a decently long list. You can get all 3 of the wilderness weapons, dragon boots, the malediction and odium ward, as well as all of the wilderness rings. And those are all nice, but in my opinion, some of the really good unlocks coming out of the wilderness are going to be the rune crossbow, dragon pickaxe, as well as the imbued mage capes is another huge unlock. Another honestly even bigger unlock might be access to corporeal beast and all of the spirit shields that come along with that. But finally here you have a couple of other items that you can unlock, being the Void Waker as well as the Dagon High Robes. Now correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe PvP is turned off, so something like the Void Waker is going to be pointless. It's Iron Man, so you wouldn't be able to loot it anyways, so PvP being turned off only makes sense. I believe that's how they ran it in the previous leagues. Correct me if I'm wrong. But that's it. Those are all of the unlockable items that can come out of the wilderness, which is technically all that I had planned to cover in each video of this series. But there was a comment in my KANDARIN video that actually pointed out a ton of extra things in KANDARIN. Shout out to this person. Kind of changed the dynamic of this series, because I feel it would be a disservice to not at least breeze over some of the things you unlock in each region, some of the extra things. So for example, in the wilderness, there are actually some major things to take note of aside from just the unlockable drops. those being lava dragons, all types of dragons for that matter, the Fountain of Rune, the altar that saves your bones, the Revenant Caves, you got Wilderness Slayer, the reworked Slayer Caves, you got a little bit of an agility course out there, the Resource Dungeon. There is actually a lot in the wilderness that should not be slept on. If you play the main game and you don't spend a whole lot of time in the wilderness, this might be your opportunity to kind of get out there and not have to worry about PvP and be able to experience the main game side of it without having to worry about the constant threat of, you know, losing your items, and really being able to go out there into the wilderness with max stuff, no risk, is kind of, you know, makes the bosses already out there are kind of scaled that you don't have to go out there with max. So going out there with max, not having to worry about PvP on top of relics, I mean, bossing out in the wilderness, I'm sure is a piece of cake. Plus they're talking about putting in instances for more than just the God Wars dungeon bosses. I think it's still up in the air as to whether or not that happens or whatever, but let me know down in the comments if I missed anything about the wilderness. Starting off, we're going to briefly cover the quests that you could expect to be automatically unlocked with this region, those being Eagle's Peak, Song of the Elves, and Making History. You also unlock all of the prerequisite quests that you need to have done for both Song of the Elves and Making History, but I'd spend probably 30 minutes going over the rewards and possible items or training unlocks that could come from those. And to keep this video short, I'm just going to breeze over the main unlocks from the quest. Let me know down in the comments if you want videos going in depth into each region's quest unlocks. But basically from Eagle's Peak, you're gonna get access to box traps. Song of the Elves is gonna get you access to Prif. And honestly, I looking into it, I cannot figure out a reason why Making History is on this unlock list. Let me know down in the comments if you happen to know. I can't piece it together, but it might have something to do with like the kudos you need. I have no idea. And for the box traps and Prif, those kind of speak for themselves when it comes to unlocks, but there are some other unlocks from these smaller quests that you get access to, like the Crystal Shield, the Crystal Bow, which are all some solid Iron Man upgrades. Moving on though into the items that you can unlock with TIRANNWN, listed in no particular order. You have the Toxic Blowpipe, Magic Fang, Serpentine Helmet, Bofa, Draconic Visage, the Blade of Salador, Rune Boots, and Full Crystal Armor. Some of the most notable there being obviously the Bofa, Blade of Salador. Toxic Blowpipe's pretty good. It's a little bit iffy where you're gonna get your darts from. But honestly, when it comes to Prifdiness or, you know, TIRANNWN, all of the items that you can unlock are pretty solid. There are some combination items as well. So if you happen to unlock another region where you can get a dragon pickaxe or dragon axe, you'll be able to make those into a crystal axe or crystal pickaxe if you unlock TIRANNWN. Finally, as for some of the miscellaneous stuff that you unlock with TIRANNWN, you have an absolute boatload of it, you know, most of which is in Prifdiness, but you have stuff like Corrupted Gauntlet, Crystal Chest, tons of shops in Prifdiness. You could pickpocket the elves, plant a crystal tree, you have Zolcano. The list really does go on and on. Prif, last Trailblazer, was a must unlock region, but it definitely does have some more competition in this Trailblazer. So let's go ahead and start off with the quests that you unlock. There's a decent chunk of them, the main one being Dragon Slayer 2. Now, the kicker with Dragon Slayer 2 being unlocked is that there is a huge list of prerequisite quests that get unlocked alongside of that. If you pair the Fremnik region with basically any other region, there's gonna be some like extra quests that get unlocked just because Dragon Slayer 2 gets unlocked. Aside from Dragon Slayer 2 though, you have Ghost Ahoy, Family Crest, Mountain Daughter, and Horror from the Deep, all being unlocked as well. Without spending 30 minutes diving into each individual's quests, rewards, and unlocks and stuff like that, that's about it for the quest. Let me know down in the comments if you want me to do like an overarching video where we really dive deep into the quest unlocks for each region. But other than that, we're just going to keep that real short. So let's just go ahead and move on quickly to the big item drops that can come out of the FREMMY region. You got yourself the Basilisk Jaw for the face guard. You could get a Draconic Visage from a Rune or Adamant Dragon. You can make yourself the Dragon Plate Body, Dragon Limbs for the Dragon Crossbow. You also get the Leaf Bladed Sword, Leaf Bladed Battle Axe, Skeletal Visage, access to all of the rings that come out of the Dagonoth Kings, as well as a Dragon Axe, the Circle Bow, and a Mud Battle Staff. You'll have access to Vorkath, which can get you the Skeletal Visage, the Draconic Visage. You land yourself the Dragon Bone Necklace, as well as the upgrade to your Ava's Accumulator. There's a decent amount of notable drops that come out of the FREMMY region. It was a big part of why I picked FREMMY in the first Trailblazer League. I don't think I'm going to be picking it this league just specifically because I chose it in the last league. But who knows? I'm still up in the air as to what my third region is going to be. But let's go ahead and move on to some of the extra things that you unlock here in the FREMMY region, such as some of the Slayer tasks you can unlock are Basilisks, Cockatrice, Dagonoth, Jellies, Kuresks, and Turoths. You'll have access to Baba Yaga's Magic Shop on the Moon Clan Island, the Astral Altar, the Releka Rooftop Course, Kingdom Management from Kingdoms of Mishlania or whatever that is, and the Blast Furnace. One last and notable thing that we have here is the Keldagrim Stonemason. This is going to allow you to put stuff in your house that otherwise would be hard to get the materials. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know down in the comments if you made it this far into the video by commenting "made it" or something. I will drop you a super special shout out because, man, this was a long one. Again, go stop by kick.com/Fringe-Patriot-Gaming. Drop a follow not to miss out on when we go live at the start of leagues. We're going to be grinding out a ton of leagues. I'm excited because I don't normally get to jump in and do main game PVM type stuff. I kind of stick to the PvP side of things. But other than that, I hope you guys all have an amazing day. I'm out.